Yes, welcome along to episode 9 of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365 with David Jennings and Gavin Lynch, counting down to the 2021 Cheltenham Festival. Gavin.
Yes, Dave.
It's bleak.
I know, Dave.
It's bleak, Gavin.
It is.
It's hard to keep the old emotions high at the minute, isn't it?
It is, Rodney. It is. Look, at full lockdown in the UK announced last night, and I'd say probably we're heading the same way ourselves tomorrow, but hopefully we'd no sport last April and May. Maybe this time sport might keep us sane in the head, racing and football and stuff. So
it's got so bad, Gavin, that Upping The Ante is the highlight of many people's week.
Yeah, well,
we better do a good job, so.
That's fairly sad.
Yeah, and the good news is Gavin got a new shirt, a beautiful new shirt, nice crisp blue.
I did, yeah, from the mother-in-law, how you Rita. So that's good, yeah.
She must like it.
She does. Your second wedding anniversary was the other day.
Yeah, second wedding anniversary, New Year's Day. We had a great time. Yeah,
good.
Started off in the kitchen, then we went to the sitting room.
Right.
No, Gavin. No, then we went to the sitting room.
Yeah.
Then went to the bathroom to go to the toilet. Then went back to the sitting room, watched a bit of telly. Great wedding anniversary. Yeah.
Mine in Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia was having great fun. Put her down around. She's sleeping better now, Gavin.
Good.
Sleeping better now. But this week, bit to look forward to racing wise.
Yeah, there's some good racing at the weekend, some rescheduled races, which we'll talk about later on. And we've 2 tips each this week. So
yeah, plenty to look forward to. Yeah. All at big prices. Let's get on with the show. So we'll kick off with our questions from the crowd. And the first one this week comes in from Mary Clark. And Mary wants to know about Album Photo, Gavin.
Okay. She
said, loads of people have been criticising Album Photo's performance on Twitter. He gave weight and a beating to a 156 rated horse in Acapella Bourgeois. Gavin, what more do people want?
Yeah, look, visually it wasn't overly impressive. But if you look at the last 3 wins in the race, he beat Total Recall by 6 lengths, giving it £10. We'll say last year he beat Acapella Bourgeois by 6 lengths, giving it 11. This time gave it £4 and beat it by 19. So all the performances are fine. It's just, I suppose he didn't tank through the race. He niggled once or twice. Mm-hmm. His jumping actually for a Gold Cup winner is not amazing.
It's not amazing, but I thought it was fine.
So it's grand for him to tip around Tremor. The fences aren't too big. Willie said afterwards that leaving the race course he wasn't thrilled, but when he looked at it yesterday or the day before, that he was happy enough. So look, it's a good preparation for a Gold Cup.
Now, I wouldn't be Album Photo's biggest fan, okay? But like, I'm looking at that performance and I said, that's perfectly respectable. It's fine. That's what he does. He did his thing and I couldn't find too many flaws in it. And it's only finished out his race.
He did. He went through the line strong. It was 2 miles, 5.5 furlongs. So it's an extra, 6 furlongs for the Gold Cup. So
I did think it was interesting that Willie said that maybe the fact that he didn't run in Punchestown after Cheltenham, that there was a longer gap, that he might have needed to run a little bit more.
Yeah, but it'd be like you when you start out first game of golf of the year, you're a bit rusty. So
Jesus, I went out on the bike the other day, Gavin,
and
me back. Oh Jesus, I'm like a cripple walking around the place.
Have to toughen you up. Yeah. But I'd say he'd improve a lot, and totally right. 7-2 favourite for the Gold Cup. Grand performance.
If all the horses were the same price in the Gold Cup, would you be backing Album Photo?
I backed him last year. I haven't backed him yet this year, but I'd be tempted, yeah.
Okay. Deserving favourite, the 100%. Right price, the right favourite, the right horse.
There's no excuse with Album Photo. He won the Gold Cup 2 years ago off a fast pace. Last year it was a bit of a crawl. This year it's probably going to be a faster gallop. He ticks all the boxes.
Do you know what I think when you're summing up Album Photo? He does everything grand.
Yeah.
So like,
he jumps
grand, he travels grand, he finds a grand amount under pressure, he kind of does a grand amount up front. He's just grand. And do you know what? When you do everything grand, sometimes it combines together to make greatness.
Yeah, and the thing is that the Gold Cup is a crazy distance of 3 miles, 2.5 furlongs, so you have to stay.
And they're going quick.
Yeah, so he's the right favourite. Grand performance, yeah.
Grand. There we go. Album Photo, Mary. He's grand. Our second question this week comes in from Andrew George, and Andrew wants to know if we were tasked with replacing the Pertemps final at Cheltenham, which it has to go, Gam.
Has to go. It will.
Okay, if we were tasked with replacing the Pertemps final at Cheltenham, what sort of race would we replace it with? I'm hoping we're going to agree here.
No, we usually don't. I would just go like for like. In handicap chases, we've got a 2 miler, a 2.5 mile, and 2 over beyond 3 mile, right? The Grand Annual, the Brown Advisory, the Ultimate, and the Kim Muir, okay? So all categories are covered. In handicap hurdles, don't mind the 4-year-olds over 2 mile, the Fred Winter or the Boodles, but you've got the County over 2 mile, the Martin Pipe and the Coral Cup over, say, roughly 2.5. So there needs to be a 3 mile handicap hurdle. Just don't have a qualifier. Just have a 3 mile handicap hurdle.
No, Gavin. No.
You don't need to.
You're saying, right, you're trying to even up the hurdle races and the chase
For
races.
handicappers, yeah.
For handicappers, okay. That's for handicappers. This is the Cheltenham Festival, okay? And we want to improve quality, okay? So the only way you're going to improve quality, if you want to get rid of the Thames final, is to have a Ryanair hurdle. And there's people going to be screaming at the screens going, no, it's going to take the quality out of the Champion hurdle. It's going to take the quality out of the Stayers hurdle. It's going to be a really good race over 2.5 miles with really good prize money, with prestige. It's adding to the quality. If you're replacing the Thames final with a Ryanair hurdle, it's a no-brainer. You're talking about a really good Grade 1 race like the Aintree hurdle, and you're getting rid of a stupid Thames final where we're actually trying to get people to play the system, which is wrong. Like,
well, when it goes to 5 days, we'll have both. But no, I think
Ryanair hurdle, yes or no?
No, I'd go for a 3 mile handicap hurdle.
Would you prefer that to a Ryanair hurdle?
Well, it just means that normal owners, syndicates, and fellas that aren't spending 400,000 on a point winner have a chance to win a race at Cheltenham.
Yes, I know that, and that's fine, but they have loads of chances. Have they not?
They can go for an Aintree hurdle.
But like, I'm just saying, if you had a Ryanair hurdle on the third day, just say with the Ryanair chase, Ryanair day, Ryanair hurdle, Ryanair chase on the Thursday, like, and add in the March chase, it would be a cracking day.
It could.
Yeah. So have I convinced you?
No.
So you're preferring a 3 mile handicap hurdle to a Ryanair hurdle?
I would, yeah.
Well, you're wrong.
Okay.
So it's time for the week that was Gavin's favourite segment, where he gets to go over all that has happened over the last 7 days. And we have the final day of the Leopardstown Christmas Festival to include here.
Last week we did the first 3 days of, say, Leopardstown and so on. And so we're finished.
How did you fare out overall? Were you in front or behind for the Christmas period?
I had a terrible day on the 26th.
Well, I think everybody knows that.
Yeah. But since then I got it back. So I finished quits for Christmas.
Go on, Gavin.
Look, you
never doubted you.
You have to keep battling.
So the 29th.
Yeah, the 29th. We're going to start with Statler. Won a maiden hurdle over 2.5 mile. It beat Glens of Antrim, giving her £7. I was impressed. Travelled well, jumped well, quickened away at the end. He looks a dour stayer, so I'd imagine 16 to 1 for the Bartlett seems fair to me.
Very good horse. Loved the performance of the second. Glens of Antrim is a seriously talented mare.
She is a very, very talented mare.
Hugely talented.
I'd say that she could end up in another Barrington Court in the flat, maybe. Okay. She jumped terribly. I don't think she fully stayed 2.5. But if she could lift her legs, I think Glens of Antrim could be very good.
She has an engine, Glens of Antrim.
Yeah,
she does learn to jump. Whoa.
But even on the flat, she could be a very good horse.
Yeah, Glens of Antrim. Remember the name.
Yeah, she's good. Next is Concertista, who's now 11 to 4 joint favourite.
You're delighted with yourself.
For the Mayor's Hurdle.
Well, what do you make of it?
The one thing I'd say, I think Paul Townend is riding the best of any jockey at the moment.
And the best he ever had.
Yeah, he's riding nearly as good as Ruby Walsh rode. That's how good he's riding. But I just think he gave this a poor ride. I think halfway down the back straight.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's totally in the wrong position. He's following Black Tears, and then he looks up and he goes, geez, I'm 10 lengths behind the 2 leaders. So I think she quickened 3 times. She to quicken to get near them. She to quicken to get past Manila Melody, and she quickened again after the last. I was very impressed with it. I thought it was a good performance.
Really? And was she won by 8 lengths or something?
Yeah, it was at 6.5 lengths maybe or something like that. But
and it was a bad ride.
The time was good. But I just say, even afterwards when he was interviewed, he kind of went down the back. I was going, oops, I'm too far on my ground. Next up is Monkfish, who's now 2 to 1 for the RSA. Beat latest exhibition by 3 lengths.
Proper race.
Brilliant race.
Really enjoyed it.
The jumping was class. The two of them finished way clear of Conflated.
And that was, like, I know he didn't win the race, but Brian Cooper, that was the Brian Cooper we love. That was firing latest exhibition into the last 2, getting your man at it.
Yeah, Brian Cooper's back. He's riding very, very well again, which is great to see. Like, I looked at the Bartlett yesterday from last year, and twice latest exhibition went past Monkfish. I think latest exhibition is a really good horse. There was only a neck between them in Cheltenham, right? But at the bend,
good jumper as well.
He is. At the bend, he went past Monkfish, and at the last, he went past him again. And Monkfish just outstayed him. So in this chase of Christmas, Brian Cooper at the second last said, right, I'm going to see how good you are, Monkfish. And he took him on 2 out and took him on again at the last, and he got outstayed. I think on the old course with the RSA, you know, when they turn in, there's 2 quick fences.
Sit.
I think if he sits and just produces him after the last, I think could be a lot closer. It was 3 lengths, but Brian Cooper in the last 50 yards pulled him up. So the proper distance should have been maybe 2 lengths or a length and a half.
Yeah, length and a half, I'd say. I'm guessing by your tone and by the way you're talking, you think this is very much a 2-horse race, the race formerly known as the RSA. You think it's between Monkfish and latest exhibition.
I do. The time was very fast.
You can't have the big breakaway.
Just his jumping is not good enough, really.
No, it's not. No, but it could improve.
Yeah, if it does, he definitely has a brilliant engine, your horse. But I just think it's going to be, I think the odds of 2-1, I think there might be 10-1 around latest exhibition. That's a bit too big for me.
Were you tempted to put up latest exhibition this week?
I was, but I might wait a couple of weeks, we'll see.
Okay.
We're on to the Grade 1 hurdle at Christmas.
Well, I'm interested to find out what you thought there.
First of all, to talk about Sanois, who was very, very disappointing. Previously, he didn't settle, he didn't jump well enough. This time, he settled okay. His jumping was okay. He'd no great excuse. He's just not good enough based on that performance.
Yeah, Willie said after the race that he thought Mark went for his race too soon.
Yeah, but that's been very, very fussy. Like he should have, he got outstayed by Petit Mouchoir in the end. So that's a long, long way off winning the champion hurdle.
You're disappointed.
Very disappointed, yeah. And like when you heard Ruby and a few of the boys talking on the television, they thought Sanois would win based on...
Well, that was the first question. I was working at Leopardstown on the 29th, and that was the first question I asked Willie. I said, Willie, if I told you this morning that Sharjah would beat Sanois as easily as he did, what would you have thought? He said, no, I wouldn't have thought that was possible, really. Like, you know, he said Sanois was disappointing. Like,
so Sanois maybe is a morning glory, but he'd have to
Winner
improve.
is a good horse, Gavin.
The winner's very, very good horse. He's now 6-1 for the champion hurdle, Sharjah. He beat Arspire Tower by 2 lengths. A very fast time at 3:56. Patrick was magic on him. I don't know why Patrick doesn't ride all of second string.
You're giving out about him last week on Mellon.
Yeah, he hit the front way too soon on that. But Patrick is very, very good.
Yeah.
Tactically. He loves riding Sharjah. It should have been 4 Christmases in a row except for the Shadow.
Yeah, that's right.
So he's a very good horse. Now, what's a bit confusing with Sharjah is that last year when he went to the Irish Champion Hurdle at the end of January, I think he finished 6th. So he's not totally consistent.
Yeah, Patrick's one big thing with Sharjah with the Champion Hurdle last year was it was a strange Champion Hurdle, a massive field. He sat at the back. He thinks this year if it was a smaller field, he wouldn't have to sit so far back. And you're getting 2 or 3 lengths very easily rather than losing 2 or 3 lengths. So
the faster they go at Cheltenham, the better for him. So Aspire Tower jumped the first 5 hurdles perfectly, then made a mistake 3 out, 2 out, and then jumped the last fine. So he's a good horse, yeah. He's 12-1 for the champion hurdle.
Yeah, he'd have a great chance in a Ryanair hurdle, wouldn't he?
He would. Down in Limerick on the 29th, Grand Wa for Gordon Elliott. He was a very expensive purchase, 400,000 sterling. Huge drifter out to 6-1. Won very, very easily. He's 16-1 for the Coral Cup and 20s for the county. All his 3 wins have been over 2 miles, but he has run over 2.5, so maybe he'll end up in the Coral Cup. But he won the other day of 138, and the Irish handicapper since has given him a £5 penalty, so he's up to 143. So.
£5 is all he got?
Yeah, that's all he got. So he might be
very
a contender.
Very nice,
Sandy. Could be a contender for a handicap. On to Newbury, and a round of applause, please, for Mr. David Jennings, Esquire. Bravemansgame is now 7-2 with the Ballymore. He beat Stargate by 10 lengths.
He was 20-1.
Was he?
Somebody put him up at 20-1. Yeah.
Well, apart from until he got to the first, he made all after that. He jumped brilliantly. It was 4 seconds quicker than the handicap hurdle, just to tell you. So it's a good time.
It's just glorious watching him.
Yeah, he's a lovely horse. Yeah.
Yeah, he's lovely.
He's going to make a great chaser, isn't he?
Oh God, yeah. And I just thought when Stargate got to him, you're kind of going, well, he's gone quick enough now.
Yeah.
He's gone quick enough. He's ran like he hasn't really got many breeders into him the whole way around. And then he goes again.
He was 3 lengths clear at the last. He ends up winning by 10, so that's a good sign.
And he hits the line hard, and he's improving. And the day he beat a horse called Es Perfecto was the day I was sold, because I think Es Perfecto is a good horse. Now he's only, you know, he's a 130 something horse, but I think he's a proper good kind of grade 3 novice type, and he made bits of him. And I said, we're seeing something really good here. And Es Perfecto, when he comes out maybe in a handicap later on in the season, I think he's going to be very interesting. So I think Bravemansgame is a very good horse.
A very, very good horse, yeah. Also on the 29th in Doncaster, Annie Mack won a listed Mare's Chase. She beat Cut the Mustard by 16 lengths. She's 12-1 for the Mare's Chase. She was 140 going into that, so maybe not quite good enough.
Yeah. Lovely mare, though.
Yeah, lovely mare. On to Limerick on Wednesday, the 30th. Staker Wallace is now 14-1 generally for the Fox Hunters. Jumped amazing, as is usually the case with Enda Bulger horses.
Value for more than a win in distance.
Definitely, yeah. Sure, it only won by, I think, a length and 3/4. It finished 4th in last year's Fox Hunters. Afterwards, Enda Bulger wasn't committal about going to Cheltenham, so just maybe hold your fire on that one. On the last day of the year, Riviere de Tel for Gordon Elliott, Noel and Valerie Moran. She bolted up by 12 lengths in a very ordinary maiden hurdle. She's now a 4-year-old, so she could go for the triumph, but because Valerie and Noel own
Zanahir, nice horse.
Nice horse. She has a chance, I suppose, going for the Mayor's Novice, for which she get a big weight allowance for being a 4-year-old. So And just to mention, it was 16 seconds quicker than the handicap hurdle, so the time was very fast.
Yeah.
So that's a good horse, Riviere de Tel. On to Tremor on Friday the 1st of January, a horse called Alboon Photo won.
Yeah.
On to Sandown, Saturday the 2nd, a Metier won the Grade 1 Tolworth.
Where are we looking at the Supreme Novice Hurdle winner?
Look, it was rated 90 on the flat when trained by Andy Slattery. Very, very good horse. It's now 3 from 3 over hurdles. It settled perfectly. It jumped really well, and it actually started to come alive turning in. It bolted up, I think, by 10 lengths, 12 lengths from Shake 'em Up Harry. It couldn't have done any more. It was very impressive. The last day in Ascot it made the run, and this time it sat him behind. So he's a gorgeous, honest horse.
Okay, you
just wonder, is the form much good? Like Shake 'em Up Harry was beaten off 130 in a handicap.
Second is Shishkin, though.
Yeah, last year, yeah.
Quiz question for you, okay? Metier started his career with Andy Slattery. What famous horse started his career with Andy Slattery?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, come on, Gavin.
I don't know.
One of the most famous horses of all time. Still in training.
Tell me.
Who's the most popular Irish horse in training? The most popular?
N-Violin.
No, but like older than him. Come on.
Don't know.
Come on, Gavin.
I've
You
no
have to
idea.
get this. Okay, he's won at the
Michael,
Cheltenham Festival. He won a champion hurdle.
Go on.
He won at Ballymore. He was third in the Marsh last year. Faheen.
Very good.
Faheen.
I was looking at Michael to tell me, but he wouldn't tell me.
Yeah, you want the clues. You want me great at a quiz. You'd have the phone out so you would have the quiz. Faheen was with Andy Slattery, yeah. Go on, sorry.
On to Fairyhouse on Sunday. Very, very good Mayor's Novice Hurdle. Royal Cahala to me was very impressive.
Oh, God. Brilliant.
Yeah, very, very good.
In the words of Gavin Lynch, brilliant.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Great to see Peter Fahey and Kevin Sexton with a good horse.
Runner up with no excuses.
None whatsoever. Hook up, she was beaten by 5 lengths, and Royal Cahala was giving her £2. Kevin Sexton was very brave. I think he thought the leader was going to lean out at the second last. He went up the rail, got slightly checked, had to switch around the leader. Wasn't very easy. So that's going to the Solarina Hurdle at the end of January, probably against Galway, who's the current favourite. But I think 10 to 1 is fair value for the Mayor's Novice.
I would fancy Royal Cahala to beat Galway.
Yeah, I probably would too. The one thing about Galway, just if you watch her 2 runs in Thurles, is that she can jump a little bit to the right, so just to look at that. Augusta Gold, won a Fairyhouse, is now 20 to 1 for the Mayor's Chase. She may go there, she may go off the Irish National. Probably not good enough. Salsaretta was a huge disappointment. Is 12 to 1 with Bet365, the Mayor's Chase, but she's 20s in loads of places. She should be 20s. She won her first 4 starts over fences. Then she fell, and she was beaten, I think, 50 odd lengths here. So very, very poor. And Cabaret Queen wasn't much better. And then to finish up with What Do You Want, who won the bumper, it beat a very expensive horse called Ginto, who cost nearly $500,000 by 2.5 lengths. 12 to 1 with Bet365 for the champion bumper. The time was 4:39, was 8 seconds slower than the handicap. Wouldn't be on my short list for the Cheltenham bumper.
Okay. Is that the week that was?
That's it.
That was the week that was. Yes, as you know by now, every week here on Upping The Ante, we preview one of the big races at the Cheltenham Festival. And this week, it is the turn of the Ballymore. And at the moment, with Bet365, the hugely talented Bravemansgame is their 7 to 2 favourite. It's 8 to 1 Appreciated. It is 10 to 1 Bob Bollinger. 12 to 1 is Metier. And it is 16 to 1 Bar, Gavin.
The only reason we're doing this is because you tipped up Bravemansgame, but anyway.
We haven't done the Ballymore yet, and I thought it was the perfect week to do the Ballymore.
So, do we need to talk about Bravemansgame again?
Right favourite?
100%
right price?
It's a bit on the short side for me. I just wonder would a horse with a bit more gears go by him, but we'll see.
Yeah, okay.
But great chance.
Okay.
Gorgeous horse.
Appreciated. We think he's going to go for the Supreme.
That's what Willie seems to suggest after Leopardstown, yeah. So, and Stargate, Metier go. Stargate probably not good enough, and Metier would probably go for the Supreme.
Now, Bob Bollinger. Okay.
Yes. I backed him.
You were convinced, then you weren't convinced. Where are you now?
Middle of the road. I backed him to win the Ballymore on the 20th of March, I'd say, last year. The week after Cheltenham, or a few days after Cheltenham. I just was very impressed with Goran Park. It looked visually very, very good. It was good on the clock.
What price did you get that day?
Oh, I don't know, 28 to 1 or something. But so then he's second to Fernie Hollow. Was a very good run.
Great run.
Very, very good run in Navan. Bolted up. This time was slow, but it couldn't have won any easier, so I wouldn't hold that against it. So yeah, very, very good horse. Whether he goes to the Lawlers of Nace or whether he waits for Leopardstown, time will tell.
Yeah, lovely horse. And it's one of these horses trained by Henry, ridden by Rachel. You can just see it bouncing out first or second in a Ballymore. and just kind of stay in there.
Yeah, well, he's
a bit like Manila Indo when he won the Albert Bartlett. You just know he's going to jump and stay. And
I was going to say he's similar to Bravemansgame.
They're just going to get out and get on with it.
Yeah.
And they both look very, very straightforward.
Yeah.
They just want a race.
Yeah. And they're both good jumpers. So, yeah, Bob Bollinger's got a great chance.
I love this race. It's probably one of my favourite races at the Cheltenham Festival.
Yeah, and this year actually, there's only one or two you could fancy in the Supreme. There's only one or two I could fancy in the Bartlett. But there's certainly more than that here. So, I would also think the Cape Gentleman is worth a mention.
Yeah, we're onto the 16s bar now.
Yeah, Cape Gentleman was very impressive in Punchestown. Jumped brilliant except for one mistake.
Yeah. It's
now rated 90 odd on the flat. I think that might go to the Lawlers and Ace this Sunday. So that'll be interesting. I loved Galar Dumanil at Leopardstown.
Yeah.
It was a good time. He looked a fabulous horse. Travelled brilliant.
Travelled gloriously.
Jumped brilliant. So he has to get a mention.
And Paul rode him with such confidence as well.
He did. He bolted up in the end. So he could be anything. And your horse that you tipped up for the Supreme, Blue Lord.
Oh, don't do it to me. He's not going to the Ballymore, is he?
I think he could, yeah.
Oh, no.
I just wonder. I see him in the long-term declarations for the Lawlers and Ace. But to me, he was very good in Punchestown, but because he has Appreciated, I just wondered maybe would he send Blue Lord.
And it's funny, even when Willie was interviewed after the race, Appreciated when he won. Like, Appreciated is their Supreme. He likes to have one in the bag, as in a strong fancy favourite in the Supreme. Yeah. I know last year was Asteria Falange, but like you go back through it, you go back through your Duvans, you go back through your Vauteurs. He wants to have the solid favourite in the first race, and that is Appreciated. So Blue Lord, unfortunately, looks like he's going to...
And he'd have a chance. I think he's 33 to 1 for the Ballymore.
Yeah,
so
he's a nice horse. I think this week, hopefully, we'll see Blue Lord in the Lawlers and Ace, and he's a very good horse.
If the declarations come out on Friday and Paul Town is riding Blue Lord and that, he's worth the 10 or 33s to save your other bets.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's the Ballymore.
That's the Ballymore. So at the moment, at the prices, maybe Blue Lord and Gally Dumanil?
Galar Dumanil and Bob Bollinger, it's a great race.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll finish second and third to Bravemansgame. So what's happening this week, Gavin? Well, we've got the rescheduled Welsh National. And Secret Reprieve is a very, very strong favourite with bet 365. Springfield Fox, second favourite. Where are you with the Welsh National?
I'd be with the favourite, but I won't have a bet in the race. But Secret Reprieve is £8 well in. Won off 130, won the trial. Bolted up by, I think, 12 lengths. It's in with a £4 penalty. Should be carrying, should be off 142, but it's in off 134. So it should win. But
one at the track, likes the ground, improving horse.
Yeah, lot to like.
It's
just a price thing. He's only 3 to 1, I think. So I'll just watch it.
Rock solid favourite. And we could have the two big fancies for the Ryanair Chase over at Kempton in the Silviniaco Conti Chase. We have got Imperial Aura against Mr. Fisher.
The big fish.
Well,
best of luck to your lad.
Yeah,
you've also Riders on the Storm is in it, Nutswell and Master Tommy Tucker, so it's a good race.
Where are you with Mr. Fisher at the moment? Are you sold at all? No?
I would worry about soft ground from him.
Yeah.
I think they're saying that this weekend the ground could be soft, so that could be a bit of a worry. So.
I think Imperial Aura is a weak favourite for the Ryanair.
Do you? Yeah.
Do you know, I don't think he deserves to be favourite. I think he's a very good horse, but surely Min has done more. Like
you'd imagine, I'd agree with you. Yeah, Min has done more. Yeah. So this Saturday would be a good test for him.
Be some crack if Mr. Fisher bolted up and was the new favourite for the Ryanair Chase, wouldn't it?
It would.
I'd look forward to coming in next week.
And then also on Saturday, the finale, Juvenile Hurdle looks good race in Chepstow.
Will Quilixios make it over, I wonder?
You've got the thing about travelling and COVID and staff going over, and also the transport. Is transport going to take a day or 2 days, or how long does it take to get something to England?
Yeah, it's very tricky.
So you've Quilixios or to Wales, Quilixios, Duffel Coat are both entered, and Nasalam. So it could be a very good race.
Nasalam looks very good. It's beaten nothing now, but beating them out of the way.
Yeah, so bolted up twice at Fontwell. I'd be with Quilixios, but
if Quilixios goes, I think
a brilliant
Quilixios
jumper.
wins. Yeah, it's going to make a smashing chase.
And then you've got the Dipper Chase in Wincanton on Saturday.
See, Hitman might go there now.
Yeah, I'd nearly switch to him instead of
I'd
Protector.
switch to him as well.
Yeah, so he looks good if he stays. And then on Sunday, brilliant race every year. The Lawlers and Ace, just on the long-term decks is all we can look at. You have Magic Tricks, Blue Lord, Bob Ollinger, and Cape Gentleman. So
if those four run, it'll be a lovely race.
Yeah, so good racing this weekend.
Good racing. That's what's happening this week. So just before you get to find out our latest selections in our ante-post picks for the 2021 Cheltenham Festival, we're going to have a very quick look at our portfolio so far. And mine were looking really bad for a while, but they've turned.
No, you've had a great few weeks. So
I've had a great few weeks. I have, in fairness. Like Bravemansgame 20 to 1 for the Ballymore, now 7 to 2 favourite. Mr. Fisher 33 to 1 for the Ryanair. I think that could look a big price on Saturday night. I can't believe they pushed out Sire de Burley again.
To 10s.
Yeah. And I see a friend of the show, Lydia Hislop, who does her road to Cheltenham with Ruby Walsh, has put up to only 2 selections. She's more selective than us, Gavin.
Okay.
She's put up Zana here for the Triumph Hurdle.
Okay.
And she has put up Sire de Burlay when it went back out to 10s.
Yeah, like Sire de Burlay, the gallop that Floring Porter they went at was a very, very slow race. And we might talk about it later on, but it was a very, very slow time. That didn't suit Sire de Burlay. Leopardstown doesn't seem to suit him. He loves Cheltenham. He loves the new track, the uphill finish. I wouldn't give up on him.
I thought the run was perfect.
Yeah, it was grand.
Just Sire de Burlay did what Sire de Burlay does.
At this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely. And if he hadn't won at Navan, we'd be saying to ourselves,
He
that
probably
was
thought it was
perfect.
a Pertemps qualifier.
He pro-
And they said, look, finish in the first 4.
Probably. But yeah, I'm happy enough.
And all Colreevy as well. You have some great picks.
Colreevy, wide receiver. There's a few of them that could start favourite.
Yeah. I didn't have a great few weeks, but I'm still happy enough with Concertista. I'm happy enough with the double. Galvin, Zanahir, Kilcrush, the Bosses Oscar. So not too bad.
Like there could be plenty of winners in there.
You
there
never
could.
know. You never
Could be
know.
none either, and we won't be back here next year. Gavin.
Exactly.
So we'll find out what we're tipping this week now. Now, if you stayed with us till now, hang on in there. This is the most important part of the show. Yes, it is time for our latest ante-post picks for the 2021 Cheltenham Festival. Gavin, do you want to go first or second?
Go on.
You're very nice. Okay, 2 selections this week from me, 2 selections from Gavin. They're all big prices.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mine are 2 16-1 shots.
And I have a 16-1 and a 20-1 shot. So
Lovely.
Everything 16-1 or over. So it's
Each
worth
way
our
lucky
while.
15.
It's worth our while staying tuned. Okay, my first selection comes in the Boodles Juvenile Handicap Hurdle, Gavin.
Okay.
And it's a race that I have a good history in because last year Aramax won it. Aramax was my main fancy, my nap at the Cheltenham Festival. And I'm going back to the Boodles. And I'm going to St. Sam for Willie Mullins. Okay, let me go. Okay, Saint Sam won twice in France, okay? Came over with a huge reputation. Started 4 to 5 favourite to beat Zana here.
Couldn't even beat Zana here.
Yeah. Started 4 to 5 favourite to beat Zana here at Fairy House on the big Royal Bond Day, the bar one day, okay? Started 4 to 5 favourite, giving Zana here weight, would you believe, okay?
Yeah.
Now, it was beaten 14 lengths. I think they were awful deflated afterwards. I think they thought this was their Triumph Hurdle horse, okay? Gets beaten by 14 lengths, posts an RPR of 131, okay? Comes back out against Zana here at Christmas, okay? And again is well beaten. But different tactics were tried. And I'd say if David could have the ride back again, he'd love it back.
Not his finest moment.
No, but do you know what? It was a blessing in disguise.
Could be, yeah.
It was a blessing in disguise. Posted an RPR of 123 only, finished 4th, got into trouble, stayed on again after the last. I loved the run.
Yeah, it was good.
I loved the run because he found so much trouble. He didn't jump particularly well. I think he can jump better. I think he's a better horse when you allowed him to stride on. And by accident, he's going to get himself really well handicapped because he's been beaten 14 lengths by Zana here. So the handicapper can't give him a massive mark, okay? He's only finished 4th to Zana here, posting an RPR of 123 last time, okay? So I think he's going to get a mark somewhere in the mid 130s.
High 130s.
Okay, even if it's the high 130s. Aramax won the race last year, was rated 138. This is a better horse than Aramax. This is a better horse than Aramax, okay? I think St. Sam has Boodles Juvenile Hurdle written all over him.
He looks a fine big horse too.
It's on his neck, it's written all over him, right? He's a fine big horse with a big reputation that's in a good yard. Willie has never won the race before.
No.
Okay?
He came close with Voida Rev a few years ago.
That's a very good memory, Gavin.
Yeah.
He did. Fell at the last.
So did Campiador independently.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very good. And I think, why would you bother going to Triumph to take on Zana here again? You know you can't beat him. He's beaten you twice out of sight. You can't beat him. Go for the Boodles. A mark from the mid to high 130s. Perfect. St. Sam.
Now, there's very few people betting
horse.
on the Boodle, so they've given you a price.
They have 16-1 St. Sam. 16-1 St. Sam for the Boodles Juvenile Hurdle. I am chuffed with myself.
Good man.
Yeah.
Next.
The minute he ran at Christmas, that's
Boodling.
That's the one. I was boodling. I was. And my next selection is also in a handicap. It's 20-1 in the Coral Cup. It is Monte Cristo from the Nicky Henderson stable, ridden by Daryl Jacob, hopefully, because Daryl gave it a super ride at Kempton on the 26th of December. Now, Monte Cristo came from France, a bit like St. Sam, Gavin, with a huge reputation. Started odds-on favourite to win a Grade 2 juvenile hurdle on its first start for Nicky Henderson. Made the run-in and just got kind of out-sprinted after the last, okay? Then it won a Mickey Mouse race at Newbury. First time out this year, travelled really well into the home straight at Aintree, just badly needed the run. And then he starts at a massive price to win this, which is traditionally a hot handicap hurdle at Kempton. And he absolutely bolted up.
He did.
He bolted up. He jumped brilliant. He was off at turning in.
Yeah, I was going to say it. He was niggling at the bend.
He was niggling, but I love that. this horse is only
and
learning.
then he ran around a bit, so he's
only learning to
yeah,
race.
Yeah.
He's only learning to race. And the key thing is, when he won his last race in France, it was over 2 mile 2 on very soft ground at Auteuil. I think the trip is bringing out the best in him. I think the Coral Cup is made for this horse. The Hill, he won off 133 at Kent, and he had to go up a lot. He's got up to 145.
Okay.
But Gavin, this could be a Grade 1 horse. That's how good he is. He could be a Grade 1 horse.
He's probably going to be carrying maybe around 11 stone in the Coral Cup.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, I think
Nicky likes the Coral Cup too.
He does. Nicky has a good record in the Coral Cup. He's won it with classy horses in the past as well. And I think this is a really high class horse. He's 20-1 with Bet365 for the Coral Cup Monte Cristo. Now it's a big shout because you don't know if he's going for the race. He could have other options. We're guessing, but I think it's quite an educated guess. I think that's the race for him.
Well, you're an educated
Monte
fella.
Cristo, 20-1 for the Coral Cup Bet365 to join St. Sam at 16-1 for the Bulls Juvenile Handicap Hurdle. I'm knackered after that, Gavin.
You're an educated fella. You went to school, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah. You take over now.
So I'm going for 2. The first
Where are you
one,
starting?
I've actually had a right few quid on these 2 horses.
Have you?
Yeah, in the last week.
Ears are pricking.
My car needs changing, so I've gone to change the car with these 2. Statler is the first one.
Good approach to take, yeah.
Statler in the Albert Bartlett. He's owned by Ronnie Bartlett, so I'm sure he'd like to win his own race, but that's not the reason. So he won a bumper at Fairyhouse a year ago. Then he was 3rd and 2nd in winners' bumpers after that, over 2 mile. He reappeared after a break, was 3rd to Vanillier over 2 mile 3. Not a flashy performance. He was up the inside on the worst ground, and when Paul switched him out later on, he stayed on well.
That was a good maiden hurdle.
It was.
Fantasio Delaine was 2nd, and Fantasio Delaine could be an Albert Bartlett type as well.
No, it was a good performance. He beat Glens of Antrim then in a 2.5 mile maiden hurdle, giving her £7. But I went and analysed the time of the race. Now, the overall time of the race was 5:10, and Concertiste the same trip was 5:06. So you'd say to yourself, yes, that's grand, right? But what I did was I analysed them from the 3rd last to the 2nd last to the last and to the line.
He's good, isn't he?
And
he's good.
I actually did this twice because I was...
Because you were bored.
No, yeah, there's that. And
nothing else to do, nowhere to go.
I was surprised at the result. But from the 3rd last to the line, Sharjah did it in 1 minute 17 and a half. Statler did it in 1 minute 18, which is only a half a second slower. Whoa. And Concertista was 1:18 and a half. So I just think that it was a very, very fast time. I think that the reason it lost 4 seconds to Concertista is because of maiden hurdles at the first mile they would go slower. They just would. But to beat Glens of Antrim, who we both think is a very, very good horse, I think Statler will definitely go for the race because he wouldn't win the Ballymore if he started now. He's a gorgeous, slow horse. He'll stay forever. He'll stay longer than the mother-in-law. How are you, Rita?
How are you, Rita?
So I just think he'll go for the race. You can basically not tell me another horse that's definitely going for the Bartlett. I think he'll definitely go for the Bartlett. And I think at 16-1, he's very, very good value.
You've got viewers very excited there.
Look at
Statler will be the best backed horse of the day when this comes out to see.
I just think he jumps great, and he definitely will stay 3 mile. Don't mind these flashy 2.5 milers. I know he hasn't run over it yet, but I think he'll stay. Do you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Every word you're saying, I'm agreeing with here.
The second horse I'm going to go for.
16-1 Statler, Albert Bartlett with Bet365. It's a very good pick, Gavin.
The second one is that I went for a bit of a touch on is Galar Duminil, Willie's horse for the Ballymore.
Big week for Willie on Up in the Ante.
It is. He's had some success over the Christmas with 6 Grade 1s. So he's certainly the trainer on form at the moment. Galar Duminil, like the Ballymore is a really, really good race.
Yeah.
You've got your horse and Bob Bollinger and so on, but I just think 16-1 really understates this horse's chances. He had 6 runs on the flat in France. He won, they were all over 1.5 mile in bumpers. He won one of them, and then he was second twice in a Grade 3 and a Grade 2 bumper. But to me, he just looks a fabulous big horse who's he needs 2.5 mile.
Yeah, he's progressing.
So he was second to Holy Macapony, but if you look back at all of Willie's horse in November, most of them have improved tons, really. So I don't think that's the limit.
Very short and running, travelled well that day.
Yeah, he travelled lovely at the bend and then just got tired. I think he's far better than that. So then at Christmas, he beats Mr. Incredible and Magic Days by 9.5 lengths and 8.5 lengths. And afterwards, Willie gave a couple of interesting comments. One was that he said, I think we're going to keep him and Appreciated apart. So when I read that, I went...
They're putting them in the same category.
He's talking about him and Appreciated. So I thought that was good. But I also analysed the times again.
Good man, Gavin. That's what you're here for.
So from the 3rd last to the line, Burlesque Queen was way behind at 132. Flooring Porter was behind again at 125. So I think that 3 mile race is a bit of a false race myself. Galar Dumini was just barely over 124. Ramile is 123 and Dandy Mag 122. And if you do the last circuit, actually Galar Dumini...
Did you do the last circuit?
I did, yeah. It's easy. You can stop and forward. So Galar Dumini and Ramile has had the joint quickest time. I just think the time was very fast. It jumped amazing. It travelled very strong. I just think he's a fabulous horse. I could see him tracking your lad and Bob Ollinger.
Bravemansgame, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's 16-1. I think
I'll fend you off.
I think in a week or two he could be half that price.
Yeah, I'd say in an hour or two.
So they're the two, Gallard de Menil and Statler. And sure, we'll take a chance.
Gallard de Menil, 16-1 for the Ballymore Novices hurdle. Join Statler at 16-1 for the Albert Bartlett. It's a big, big week here on Up in the Ante for Willie Mullins trained novices. Yeah, you're happy with them, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
Yeah. You had a smile on your face coming in here today. Now I
Take a
know
chance.
why. Statler and Gallard de Menil. So there you go, folks. That's it for week 9 of Up in the Ante in association with Bet365. Gavin, by the way, any New Year's resolutions?
Oh, I'd say, yeah, cycling.
Yeah.
I can't.
Not to treat Anne-Marie better, not to forget her birthday or anniversaries. No, cycling.
Treat the kids well and herself well. But apart from that, cycling, I can't get dropped in my own race. I don't want to get dropped. So, I'll probably just have to
keep cycling.
And by the way, if the event is on May the 22nd.
May the 22nd?
Yeah, so put that in your diary. But if it's a case that COVID doesn't allow, I checked that the Curragh has a Saturday race meeting in June, one in July, one in August, and one in September. So
we'll get there.
We're definitely, there's no
Gavin,
excuse.
you know what? If I start off in the one in June, in May, I might get there by July.
You'll be
I got the bike for Christmas. I've gone on a few cycles. I have a sore back. It takes a while to get into it.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, it takes a while to get into it. By March on our final show, Gavin, you won't recognise me.
No.
So there you go. We're going to be cycling. That's our New Year's resolution.
Yes, get out on the road.
Yeah, well, I came in here deflated, Gavin. The world was looking like a dark place, and I'm going home happy.
Good. Same here.
You've cheered me up. So there you go, folks. That's it. That's Up in the Ante. That's episode 9. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, if you're having a bet this week, gamble responsibly. Only bet what you can afford to lose.